welcome back to Pro League. Your desk is so excited to get things started today. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Pac-Man, and Study. We're gonna finally see some teams get their first wins today. We've got a lot going on. I'm really excited.
That was a low-key shade.
Yeah.
EG and LG.
I'm not wrong.
Or, you know, one of them.
Not wrong.
You gotta come up with a name for that match later in the day. Twitch chat, gonna need your help on that one first.
Oh, I don't know if that'll be very nice.
Battle of the Donuts.
It's like the Knicks versus the Suns.
Somebody's gonna get their first win today. It's Luminosity looked a lot better yesterday, right? Like despite like the visual aspect of their faces, looked like they were down and out, but
just don't look at their faces and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best match that they've played.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of sad to say, but it's true. That was the best match we've seen LG play. They just came up a little bit short. I mean, and the team they lost to is undefeated, too. Yeah.
But also EG, which we're looking at that replay yesterday against UYU. I mean, could be them as well.
They're in absolute turmoil, from down to their strategies, down to individual performances. Each game mode looks like a struggle. Obviously, the Gridlock Hardpoint was fantastic for them, but throughout the rest of the series, they couldn't get anything going. Evil Geniuses, it seems like a mountain to climb for them.
I feel like fantastic's an understatement. EG looked like a pub in that first map.
Yeah, it looked great.
And I don't know what happened after that at all.
LG is just simply, they just have too many openings on their setup. I feel like they're just playing too individually, man. It's just like no one's communicating between each other, and it's just not looking good for this team right here. Even though going game 5, they played a really good series yesterday, but that one round with the opening at the U side was just the round that put it all down.
Luminosity's pacing is just completely off. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Whereas you watch Evil Geniuses and it kind of seems like they're over-strategizing things and losing a lot of gunfights. Luminosity seems like their pacing is just terrible. A little bit too much individual play. Both of them have different types of problems, but one of them will get that win today and gain some confidence.
Right. Now, of course, that match is going to be happening at the end of today, but kicking things off, we have Midnight, which is undefeated versus Reciprocity.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
This is to me is up to Tommy and his teammates to balance out that slaying. We saw Tommy have a huge week last week, but obviously on their scoreboard they're 1-3. Like, you can't have one person carrying more than his fair share. The rest of the team needs to come together, work with Tommy, get those kills, and see if they can take down an undefeated Midnight squad.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hard, though, because I just feel like Midnight, their teamwork is just amazing.
Impeccable so far.
It's going to be really, really hard to top that. But if Tommy's able to put on a performance that he did last week, and his teammates are just able to help him at least a little bit, then they should be fine. Because they start off certain hard points up 100, and then they just start choking eventually, and then just get come back on. Yeah. So if they could just close out these maps, they'll be okay.
Midnight's teamwork is so good. Like, who would you say is Midnight's best player?
Man, it's tough to say. On any given day, any given map, it could be Parzelion. You know, next one it could be Brack. Next one could be Envoy. They're just such a solid team from top to bottom. And then the thing about Reciprocity is you expect players like Weskin to be going off, and you know he's not playing that well right now. Him and Shawnee both sitting below a .85. Like,
yeah, he's had moments, but not enough of them.
He's had moments. I mean, every pro player in the Pro League is going to have their moments, right? Like, you're going to have those times where you shine, you're a fantastic player, but you got to step it up here, and you'll be able to close out some of these hard points. A 2-5 hard point record for this team that's terrible, right? They've been in position to take down a lot of these maps, and they haven't been able to clutch up. That could very well be a positive record. Look at his stats right there. You have a guy doing that in hard point, 1.2. You got to help him out. He needs some assistance in the hard point.
Yeah, you certainly need Tommy to show up, Study, but you also need the rest of the team to show up as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, at this point, Tommy's going to show up. I'm just going to go with that. But his teammates from now, I need one person is Denz. I need Denz to be the player that he used to be, or at least, like, replicate it or just try to do something, because I feel like he's just been really, really quiet. One of the best players in Australia, and he's just been not the player that we're used to seeing out of him.
But, like, what are they supposed to do against Midnight? Midnight's 5-0 in hard point. They look amazing. Like, going into this match, and you've been choking your hard points. Like, what do you do against a team that's
Midnight's
like
5-0, but they've come back in a number of hard points. They're not like impeccable hard point players.
Some of them are. Some of their maps have been impeccable.
No, of course. I mean, they're undefeated in the league. They're dominant, but it's not like they're unbeatable.
Oh, absolutely not.
And Reciprocity has shown like signs of brilliance. They just need to actually put that together for a whole 10 minutes and finish out a map.
They need their best hard point on their best day to beat Midnight in hard point.
Whoa, you're heavily gassing that.
Oh, I'm not. Their teamwork is leaps and bounds ahead of what Reciprocity has right now. It's not even close to me.
But do you think then, Nameless, that there's any impact on the fact that I'm sure all of these teams are really hungry to be the one who takes down Midnight for the first time?
everybody's hungry for a win, regardless. There is that, like, from the outside looking in, it's like, okay, we got to give this team that first loss. But I can assure you, players don't really think like that. Like, back when I played, it was never, they're 5-0, I got to give them their first loss. It's like, dude, I got to get a win.
Yeah.
That's how that's how the players are.
Focus more on yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. And you don't really focus on what they're doing right. You kind of just try to fix what you were doing wrong. And that's the way you take down a team like that, is just try to fix all your minimal mistakes and also keep the slaying up, which is why I think it's going to be difficult for Reciprocity, because they've been making a ton of mistakes.
Yeah, well, we will see if Reciprocity can fix some of those mistakes, but we are ready to hand it over to our casters, Ben and Chance.
Thank you very much, Katie. One thing's for sure, this is going to be a very, very difficult game up next for Reciprocity, because coming into the week, Chance, we were just kind of briefly talking about it. Statistically speaking, it felt like Midnight had at least one player across the board all game mode, so they were like, nah, we're good. We'll slay you out.
They did. Barzillion had the #1 hardpoint KD. Brack has the #1 search and destroy KD, and then Lamagod has the #1 control KD. I will say, though, Methods did overtake Barzillion in the hardpoint, just barely. Squeaked him out because of the matches yesterday, but that means Barzillion is watching this. He's going to go hard in the hard points, or maybe instead of going hard, play back, play for kills, and try to bump the KD up a little bit to take the spot over. But either way, for search and destroy and control, it's not even remotely close. It's just absurdly in Midnight's favor.
It is worth mentioning, though, Midnight have started off relatively slow in their first map, and most of the series that we've seen them play, will this be similar? That's the question. Reciprocity would love to come out with a big map #1 if they're going to have any chance of taking the series, because one thing's for sure, Midnight, at least right now, look the best team in this division, as we jump on board now with Barzillion.
Well, and if you're thinking for Reciprocity, everyone's seen Tommy have disgustingly good performances, but obviously it hasn't been enough. So the players that really need to pick it up, at least in hardpoint, Shawnee and Wuskin. Both of those guys vastly underperforming. You expect a lot more, and you can see so far so good. Wuskins picks up a couple kills, Dens get 2 more, and they do have that small lead. More importantly, they do have those spawns. But those 2 players, they're going to have to keep racking him up, because if Tommy's not dropping 8,000 damage, the game's not even going to be close.
Yeah, it's rough, especially the series that we saw Rec play against Red Reserve. You would have loved to see Wuskin have better individual performances. Since then, though, he's had some moments of brilliance, that's for sure. But to your point, overall, definitely got to help Tommy out if you're on this Reciprocity squad, as now we rotate over towards the second hill. It's Midnight, ready and waiting. Inside, Barzillion finds 1. Should be able to find the second. That's Wuskin. 4 go down. Just one more Reciprocity player looking to go for the pinch.
I mean, that just made it look easy. Zed falls in the back. That was Barzillion in the hill. Basically wins a one-on. Well, not even a gunfight. He wasn't even getting shot at. Just kills a guy for free. Envoy kills a guy for free. Then the third player for Rec comes in. He gets double challenged by Barzillion and whoever else. It's just like clockwork. Now Barzillion's got streaks. Reciprocity can't get in the hill. They had their early rotation. This is just hard point for both of these teams.
What were you saying about his stats as well? He was just...
He needs to pad the stats so he can overtake the KD. He's got like a 1.47, I think, and then Methods beat him by like 0.0 whatever. So he's right there. He's got a 4 KD right now, so he's right on the money so far.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Barzillion there, if you're wondering why he looked back, he heard the trophy system. And he was like, oh, I can just destroy, get the 3 points, think it was his own.
Yes.
So a little unfortunate there, but he calls the lightning strike in and, well, kills pretty much anyone that was in the vicinity there, including his teammates. And now as he pushes through, he will sadly fall. It was Zed that shut him down, but another streak there was earned. Gets the Hellstorm. 11-3 the start for Barzillion. Midnight 71-31 the lead as well.
It's always fun when the saving grace for a team in hardpoint is when the other team has streaks and they end up team killing and then they burn the streaks, and so far so good. The problem is they got more. Barzillion has now killed, I think, 3 enemies with streaks and 4 teammates.
Yeah, you should let him know teammates don't actually count towards the KD stat that he said.
I mean, it looks nice. It actually counts for best play. So at the end, well, not for streaks, but it does count for best play when you team kill. But either way, that is now the open hill. 2 streaks burned. Barzillion having a fantastic game outside of streak usage. And again, it always sucks when the other team gets streaks, but that was best case scenario by a mile for Reciprocity.
Yeah, most definitely was. And because of that, Reciprocity is now able to come a little bit back into this game. What looked as if it could maybe get a little scary with proper usage of those streaks. Not the case. 74-60. Dens, unfortunately, gets shot from behind by his teammate there, Zed. So no streaks earned for Reciprocity, as Midnight once again tries to secure some big time here on this hill.
Also, it was kind of surprising. I thought it might have just been for the opening break, but it's worth pointing out. I think Shawnee and Wuskin, or no, they made the role switch a long time ago, last week, actually. I thought they went back and forth, but keep in mind, Shawnee ICR, Wuskin got that match so he can be more aggressive. And again, those are the 2 players that need to step things up, unfortunately for them, inside this hill. Midnight in full control, and you can see the rotations coming in from 3 Reciprocity members. They are chalking up not even, again, it's not even scrap time. That's 25, 30 seconds of just free time going the way of Midnight. And of course, on the rotation battle, Jet Li wins the SOG battle in the back. So at the very least, he's going to be blocking the spawns from Rec, which means they're spawning on the other side of the map. And that is a very long run to the next hill.
Most definitely is. Bliskin on your screens. As he spotted Breck to the right. Inside kitchen. Well, we'll spot him now. Breck finds the kill, and Barzilian pops Annihilator now. Can he put this to some good use? No, he cannot. Misses the shot. Challenge from the right unexpectedly, so good start there to holding this hill for Reciprocity. They get Midnight to at least burn that Annihilator.
And they're going to have to pretty much lock all this time down, because think of all the things that have gone right for Rec. 2 streaks that get burned, it doesn't really affect you at all. That's now TAC 5 Annihilator gone. Doesn't really affect you at all. That's the time where you end up losing the spawns early and you manage to hold on. And all this being said, you're still down by about 30 points. So you're gonna have to play well. You're gonna have to turn it up, because again, Midnight, they've seemed to be a first half team, a little bit slow. Second half, they flip that switch. And if that happens again, it's just bad news for Reciprocity.
And obviously it is worth mentioning, Barzilian uses the Annihilator as quickly as he gets it, because he's 17-7. Without a doubt, he's going to get another one in this game. Shawnee, of course, still working towards his first at 7-10. As he finds one more kill, himself a little closer, but now War Machine being spammed out. Only one kill comes through there as, once again, Reciprocity break through into the hill.
All these things going good. You see Flak Jacket on the different players. They made sure to keep track with it. That is good news for them. Zed inside the hill, who, by the way, has been playing pretty damn well so far in the Pro League, not underperforming really at all. So again, if you want to highlight an issue for the team, Zed been performing well inside the hill. Reciprocity is still holding on. They do not have that lead, and this is where it comes down to. Keep in mind, last set of rotations, it was from 1 to 2 that Barzilian earned the streaks. You can't afford to get broken on the second hill. Tommy already going for the rotations, which, granted, it is some decent time. Midnight's going to get inside that orbital hill, but you can't get broken instantly again. Reciprocity, they got to clean it up.
Zed watching bottom middle. He'll find one. Now the fight really going to come over from gun side. And Shawnee in exactly the same spot we saw Barzilian on in the first rotation of hills. Can he now try and get some streaks for Reciprocity as the push comes through? But Midnight having pinned down. He's going to have to wait, heal. As again, the push still coming from the front door. Shawnee with 1. Shawnee looking for 2. There's no one next to the explosive barrel, but I'll tell you what, that was an aggressive push that came through for Lamaga just to try and shut him down. He didn't find the kill himself, but denies streaks. There is a Grav Slam at play here for Midnight, should they choose to use it. 40 seconds still left on the hill, and Reciprocity, they're about to take the lead.
I mean, this could be perfect, honestly, for Tommy. 35 seconds, you got them all coming in the front right now. You get the timing right, you kill them all, but you might not need to. The Tempest comes in, Tommy's gonna fall, but it looks like it's actually chaining teammates, so that's Dens that may be connected on his teammate. He does pick up 2. You don't need to use the grab spike because you use another specialist. You're gonna get these final 35 seconds. That is a huge amount of time for them to get. And keep in mind, to break next, they got an Annihilator, they got the Grav Slam.
This is the second time Dens has been close to streaks. He secures them here. It could well be GG map number 1. That rotation is gonna be massive, and as I say, that Llama shuts him down from behind. 140, 173, advantage Reciprocity. Midnight though, the team trailing, do have early time on this hill, and you can see that mini-map on the left-hand side of your screen. Currently, Midnight players spawning closest to the hill with the favorable spawns. This game definitely not over yet.
I mean, this is where it comes down to the specialist. And there you see Shawnee able to pick up 2 with the Annihilator. Might have clearance for more. His teammates are picking up hill. Barzilian in the hill by himself. He has reinforcements. Tommy picks up 2. Jet Li burns that. He's actually able to pick up both. So Jet Li shuts down both specialists. Tommy, though, only able to find 1. And you talk about the specialist not really having an impact on this game. Burn from Reciprocity, Midnight in the hill.
Throughout all of that, Jet Li still in the hill as well. Yes. Lovely play from him. He finds another pick. Barzilian watching the lobby push. 13 seconds left at the hill. Midnight retake the lead. What do they have, though? Any utility left? Nothing. No streaks. A couple players getting maybe somewhat close. But in terms of the rotation, it's Reciprocity ready and waiting.
This honestly has been one of the more strange games we've had in terms of specialists. It seems like every single time for both teams, and neither team is really using them poorly necessarily. It's just they're being dealt with well, not having a high impact. But when it comes down to the guns on this hill, Midnight the first time around did very, very well. It looks like they're going to get that early break. Reciprocity sending 3 from the top side. you might want to wait just a little bit for your teammates to get here, but it's going to be 5 guys coming straight down the middle. Dens, by the way, annihilates Barzilian. That's 3 in their favor. Now it's going to be up to Envoy in the hill. He picks up the final 2, and the reinforcements are in. The Sogs in this hill for Midnight have been elite.
It's not over just yet as Wuskin goes for another push. 20 seconds left of hill time. Reciprocity, this is big if they're able to get it, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Another 4 players go down. The final 10 scrap seconds to Midnight. That's going to give them about a 229 to 183 advantage once the hill rotates through. For Reciprocity, they're going to have to try and push straight through the front door. Envoy top window. He'll find 1. War Machine has been earned as he does get stunned. Needs to be cautious because Reciprocity now with a favorable spawn.
You see Barzilian burns the Annihilator, War Machine getting pulled out, those 3 players in the back. Good luck trying to get through this. The War Machine up top is good enough to take down Zed. 10 seconds left and Midnight will continue their undefeated streak in hardpoint, and they're looking poised up for it. You do have to be inside the hill though, and Reciprocity just trying to flood in the back, but it seems like it's just a matter of time. Envoy picking up 2 along the way. Just one final push coming in from Rec to try to stay alive. The Llama God finds 2. Llama God finds 3. And they just need 1 more point. Shawnee's going to fall gently inside the hill, gets it in Midnight. Continuing the hard point destruction here in the Pro League.
That was a disgusting way to end map number 1 from Llama God. Slides into the hill, gets a double, finds a triple. Really good stuff from Midnight. And again, in hardpoint, I've said they've started off some series slow, right? Where you look at them and you think, oh, well, this isn't what you're so used to seeing them in maybe game 4. I don't want to say similar kind of thing there, but you felt like the utility they were able to earn, maybe that game should have been a little easier. Shout out to Reciprocity, I guess, for keeping it as close as they did.
I mean, I feel like utility wasn't great from either team. Like, It was fine, but not great. But if it's like a standard game, you're going to lose to Midnight, at least from Reciprocity, because their hardpoint record isn't that great. They're having outstanding performances, still losing games. They've been 100-point club twice. So as good as they played against a team that's been as good as Midnight has been, you need a lot more. And I'm not saying it's easy by any means, but I'm saying if we go to the map 4, you're going to need dominating performances out of some player as well as everyone on the team doing well. It's just not easy.
Obviously, you don't get it in the hardpoint. Do you maybe get that more in the Search and Destroy, a dominating performance here from Rec?
Well, the interesting thing is Search and Destroy is Reciprocity's best game mode by quite a decent margin. Like, they're pretty solid at the map. And then the interesting thing is, for the second map, neither team, I don't think, has really played it in the Pro League at all. I think each team has a decent record on it, but it's all from, like, the PLQ. So it's been a while. The strats are going to be a little bit different, and that's good news for Reciprocity, because that means that's not one of those maps that Midnight has just been running teams over. So I'm not saying it's an easy match, but both teams are very good at Search and Destroy, but I'm saying there is a glimmer of hope.
Okay, so it could be a very interesting game too, and it's where you expect to see maybe Reciprocity tie things up, try and extend the series, but we know Midnight so far really not showing many mistakes in their game as a whole from what we saw throughout week 1. I know before the game started, Jess caught up with some of the Midnight players.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I actually had a chat with their coach, Ricky Atura, and he said he thinks this is going to be a really close game, but he does feel as though they can take it 3-1. And, you know, so now after this latest hardpoint, they are, of course, still undefeated in hardpoint. So when I asked Ricky, you know, what is it that makes you guys so strong on hardpoint? He said, well, it really comes down to sticking together. We go over a lot of VODs. We kind of envision every possible outcome. And he also added, well, we just work harder than any other team here. Now, over on the side of Reciprocity, also caught up with their coach, Shane, and, you know, he didn't seem too worried going into this. He said, well, Midnight are the best team in the game right now, so the pressure's on them, you know. They are undefeated, so he's not really feeling too worried given this scenario. He said that their tendency is to throw away big leads on hardpoint. Obviously, that did not go as well as they were expecting, but, you know, he said we really need to step up our game. We need to prove a lot of people wrong, and we just really need to show up. So we'll see how the rest of the series shakes out. Ben and Chance, back over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jess. Great to hear from what both the coaches said coming into the series. But here's the problem. If you're a Reciprocity fan, Brack sitting pretty at the top of the Search and Destroy leaderboard, a 2.2. I mean, you compare that to second place, who's Havoc on Gen G, a 1.67. And credit to Gen G, of course. They have 3 players there inside that top 5. But Brack he's just been so dominant in Search. And obviously, Chance, you were talking a little bit about, you know, this map specifically. You said they haven't seen either team play it here in the Pro League, but at the PLQ, both teams played it a fair amount.
Yeah, so if you're like for Reciprocity, you look at Midnight's record and you're like, oh, 4-0. Like, that's not good. But then if you're Midnight, you look at the other side and you're like, hey, Reciprocity was 2-0, but it's been weeks. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks. So again, I think this is obviously the best opportunity that Reciprocity is going to have to get in it.
Okay.
But to further highlight how good Brack has been in Search and Destroy, in order, in his performances, 10-2, 8-4. Then he went 4-7 against Red Reserve, and they lost that map. That's their only search and destroy loss they have where he underperformed. If you remember, that series went to Game 5.
Yep.
How did he make up for the poor performance? Went 15-4. And then his final one, he went
good way of making it
7-3.
up.
So, like, outside of the one time he went negative, his worst performance is going double positive. So, yeah, no, he's definitely been good in search.
It's a player that Reciprocity, you're going to need to shut him down, I guess. The saving grace is the team that did it was European. Reciprocity, European. I'm stretching, Chance. I'm reaching real far for that one.
Makes sense to me.
But our Arsenal Search and Destroy, as you said, PLQ Midnight 4-0, Reciprocity 2-0. So we're expecting a very, very good game 2 here. For Reciprocity, it's going to be so important that they manage to at least tie it up, because if they don't, I think that's where you look at Control Game 3, Chance, you think, well, it's probably going to be a 3-0.
I mean, yeah, when I look at the series, I was thinking, like,
yeah,
this is looking like...
That's a surprising thing, hearing from Midnight's coach saying, yeah, 3-1. I'm in my mind, I would love to know what map he was thinking there was a chance. Maybe he was just trying to be polite.
If anything, it would have to be the search and destroy. But again,
you're
they were
4-0.
4-0 out of the PLQ. It's kind of crazy.
And you have Brack on your team.
Yeah, how weird of a team is Reciprocity, by the way? Like, I don't know what happened to you, but my first week predictions got slaughtered because of them. Because I was expecting, like, this is going to be an incredibly good team. And granted, you know, if a couple maps, if they don't blow the 100-point lead, yada, 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 maybe some series go their way. But
sure.
They've put themselves in a pretty rough spot. That's just...
I think it's all how their season kind of started against Red Reserve, right? A team that on paper you're better than when you look at how the year went, and then you get absolutely just ran through. Not exactly the ideal way to start your league. As Tommy gets the ideal start in this search with the first blood. Llama got though. The trade makes it 4 versus 4. Brilliant.
And, you know, we highlighted Brack, obviously, for the side of Midnight, but you got to highlight Wuskin as well, apparently. He's able to pick up, too. But what I was going to say is Jet Li is a guy who kind of flies under the radar. But Search and Destroy is where he really starts to put in a serious amount of work, like super high damage per minute. I think him and Brack are actually both, like, top 10 for damage per minute in Search and Destroy. So you got to keep an eye on him, at least to be doing the dirty work of the map. But 2v3, bombs down, Llama God spots, at least one going for the full flank. And unfortunately for him, his teammate gets picked off. He's going to fly into Shawnee, 2 players there. He's going to fall as well.
Don't know about that one.
Reciprocity, well, he's got to do something. He knows the play. He's got to do something. I'm not saying it's great.
But falling down a ladder well and into 2 players from Rec, I don't know if that was the thing he should have done. But
he only knew one was there.
That's true, I guess. But either way, Reciprocity, they'll comfortably take round number 1, grab the defuse as well. So advantage them here in the search.
And shout out to Wuskins. Again, inside the window, picking up 2 kills with the Maddox. So, like, we harped on, what was it? Shawnee and Wuskins underperforming in hardpoint. That's not the case for all the game modes. When you go over to Search and Destroy, Wuskin is not great. Not great, but quite a bit better. And again, this is where they're more solid at. So definitely try to keep an eye on him if he keeps performances up like that. And then, of course, kind of that solid counter. Zed, again, has been doing a very fine job so far in the Pro League.
As you said, a good start for Wuskin, as he found 2 kills there at the top window. How will Midnight respond this time? Of course, they go into a defensive side for Reciprocity. It looks as if it's just going to be a heavy mid-map push. All 5 players filter through. Midnight going to get the information. It's the Envoy. And, well, that's a smash, and that's a Jet Li running into 4 players from Reciprocity. Brack has to back away.
That has got to be the most terrifying thing to see. 4 players coming over. Brack, though, wins the one-on-one gunfight, and this time it's not 4 players challenging. They only gave him 1. He dealt with it, but then he might overdo it just a little bit. Somehow survives, and now that bomb is down. You got, what, at least an ICR, a SOG player that's on the bomb, more ICRs and Maddox. Everyone's looking over, and Reciprocity, they got to get out despite the first blood.
Good luck, have fun situation there. When you talk about trying to retake the B site, players set up in almost the perfect, 4 players set up with bomb down. It is perfect. This is going to be so tough for Reciprocity to try and break. Realistically, only 1 play they can do based on time, and it's read by Envoy. He somehow survives. Dance is going to push. He's going to spot the push. Unfortunately, had a stun in his hand. 2v3, 16 seconds left. At this point, you expect 1 player to just passively play his life through B1. Kills are going to be traded out. Barzilian trying to get fancy with the flicks and the sniper rifle. Nothing connects, and Dens with 5 seconds. Is he going to find the kill? Just to his left. Should be able to make it a 1v1, but no time for the round.
Sucks as well for Ek, because, like, this is a perfect strat. Send everybody inside the window kill the one guy that's there. Terrifying for whoever that was. And then they just got pinned down. It was a player with the Maddox right back. Brack was on a bomb, and Parzilian had the sniper as well. So
think about how close Brack was to dying, too. When he slid across and he took those kind of couple of shots in between two Rec players, you're thinking, oh, yikes, he's one shot, surely he falls. He dies there. That's the opening Reciprocity need to potentially just try and fly through, or even just wrap back, right? It gives you a little bit more option. You open up the bomb site, but to his credit, stays alive, and Midnight tie things up 1-1.
And I think for Rec, you got to commit. Like, even if you're worried about the sniper and the Maddox, like, you can't just let one guy come over and just get taken down. So, I don't know. If you send 4 through the window, send 4 over on top of bombs. Just pray a little bit. See how it goes for you.
Sometimes a little bit of luck can go a long way, that's for sure. As Wasn't peeking over towards gun side. Don't think he spotted Envoy, but Envoy is over there. Deep, worth mentioning, number 3 there on that minimap. Elsewhere, though, Shawnee keeping his eye over towards A, the lone player from Reciprocity. He backs away. This is exactly why. The pressure from Midnight now flying over towards the A site.
Bomb down for free. Envoy is watching full flank, which Reciprocity, it doesn't look like anybody's going to go that direction. So if they time this well, they might have a slight man advantage, but Envoy actually gets the timing right. He's starting to wrap over to help his teammates, but the move is in. You hear sniper shots rending down. The nade is perfect. No flak jacket there. First blood, 28 seconds.
Jet Li could be in a position to make a big play through vents, but it's been read perfectly. Parzilian now forced into action, but here's a flank from Envoy himself. Parzilian will fall. Now it's a 1 versus 3 for Envoy. I don't think he recognizes that Tommy's on the bomb. It doesn't even matter. Shawnee takes the fight himself, and another good retake from Reciprocity here in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I mean, so in that situation, if Midnight planted for the other side, maybe Envoy on the flank can make a play, but Reciprocity knew where the bomb was planted. You push out that side heavily. Obviously, the first nade you get pretty much helps things, makes it a little bit easier, and that's a very solid retake coming in. And that's a necessary retake as well, because if you're giving up a plant for free out of sight, you got to have a game plan for how you get back, and they executed it very, very well.
Now, though, can Reciprocity win an attacking round, give himself a 2-round cushion here in game 2. Back and forth so far, as Midnight defensively. I have a couple of players over towards A, and this could be a big push. That hit marker comes through. One play from Reciprocity all the way down to 1 shot. Zed's going to try and push through, but Envoy has some help. No tap mess, so that stun is going to last a long, long time. And Parzilian covering with a sniper rifle. It's a 5v3. Everything going Midnight's way here early in the round 4.
Tommy wins the gunfight up top to maybe give them a little bit of a better chance, but stun grenades in this game, Ben.
Woo!
And at times be the ultimate bait. You hear he's stunned, no tac mask, and you're like,
Go!
oh, free kill. I need to go get that. And at some degree, like, you have to push forward as well just to go for the attempt, because if you use your utility and you get nothing out of it, then you're just kind of stuck. But Zed slides out and then just gets shot by God knows how many different players, and it turns out to be a free kill. Parzilian misses a couple shots. Know the pressure's down over towards A. If you're going to plant this bomb, then you only got 1 gun up. And Tommy doesn't want to plant the bomb so he can keep his gun, but 20 seconds. Shawnee for the 1v2. Takes down Lamagod. 1v1 player. He's got the information as well, but Jet Li, a little too quick on the spot, takes him down for the trade. And Midnight bounces back. There's a lot of defensive round wins.
Yeah, a fair amount of them. And I think now if you're Midnight and you're Parzilian,
But
I don't want to say reassess the sniper rifle play. He's got 2 hit markers, but I think he's sitting at 1 and 4 now. 1 and 3 now. Maybe it is time that you just kind of switch it out. Maybe go back to it in a later couple of rounds.
It's like a hot and cold thing. Like, if you get enough hit markers, I would just be frustrated enough that I would just pull out
Exactly.
an SCR.
Yeah.
It's just, you can get annoyed with
Oh,
it.
it is 1 and 4. Wow.
Try to be a little bit more impactful. By the way, Waskin's having a pretty solid game thus far. Shawnee gonna boop his teammate with the trophy system, but another fairly spread out round for Reciprocity on defense, but they gotta go for that window of control. But Envoy wins 1 gunfight, and then it's just solo challenge after solo challenge, and Envoy takes 2 to the grave with them. Zed gets caught out for free. By the way, Parzilian switches the ICR, gets the kill with it. 4v2, Brack gets that bomb plant. Now there's a player by himself. That's a great double challenge coming in from Midnight. And Waskins, it would probably be better for you to jump off the map. Well, this is definitely not happening.
There it is. Wisely hops off, and Midnight take the advantage.
What do you think kills a player when they hop off the map? Like, is it a heart attack?
Yeah. they're so stressed. They're like, I've never seen this before. What do I do? And then bang.
Yeah, like the COD gods just smite them. Like it's a
that'd be cool.
2.5
lightning comes from the sky, just pops you. Whatever it is, you die when you go outside the map.
Okay, well that's a terrifying thing.
And there is, of course, Parzili with that ICR we were just talking about. Maybe switching out the sniper rifle. Didn't have any success with it. The one kill he had going into that round was with his pistol. Does he maybe go back to the sniper rifle this round? Maybe keep out the ICR? Midnight, of course, I believe it's the first attacking round that we've actually seen one as well so far in this map. And he's going to keep out the ICR. I like this. I like this a lot.
I don't like it. As soon as I have one good round with an ICR, I'm like, okay, now I'm feeling it. I'm going back to sniping. But he is doing the smart thing. He sees, I don't know, at least 2, if not 3 players. Gets Tommy one shot, goes for the challenge on the second, but he's playing safe. Brack has the cross. They pop the tac 5. The help not quite there. Brack does get blooded. That's a massive advantage. You do have players going on the flank, though. Jetly behind enemy lines. Envoy's inside, has the War Machine as well. And the play might be in. The flank works out. Wuskins checks a little bit too late. Envoy does get dropped, but so does everyone for Reciprocity. And now you got Tommy with the thermal sniper. It's not going to work out well for him. And that is just an instant, seemingly 4v5 retake coming in for Midnight.
2-round cushion. And if you're Midnight, you'll just bleed a little bit of time off the clock, work a little closer towards those specialists. And imagine you give Jetly the bomb defuse as well, being 300 away from streaks. Of course, for Reciprocity, everybody will have this information because they'll be seeing his screen. So they know just the priority target here will be Jetly. Find that kill as quick as possible.
And that round comes down to Jet Li. Again, the guy that does the dirty work. A lot of times, Envoy flanks, but he goes through mid. Jet Li goes around the entire map, and Wuskins was, I don't know, 6, 7 seconds late on watching the full flank, and basically just got free kills fed to him.
The kill in vents as well from Midnight was so important. Manages to escape one shot with his life. I forget who exactly it was, but we talked a little bit about stats coming in. So far, Brack not necessarily having the most impactful game in terms of the scoreboard, but the actual kills he's managed to pick up have been important in the round wins.
Very true. I meant to ask. I think Parzilian went like 25 and 15, like roughly. Is that better than a 1.47? Can you do that math in your head? Do they teach you that?
Yeah, it is.
So it's better than a 1.47?
Yeah.
You're saying that with confidence? I like it. So he's trying to retake that #1 spot. Brack does have the #1 KD, but unfortunately for him, it's a 2.2 KD, which if you go negative out of the 6 maps they've played, it might do a dent. But do you want the KD or do you want the win?
Oh, you want the win.
Probably. Parzilian wants his life, so he's going to run away. Envoy, by the way, it doesn't really feel like a flank if you go through mid, but this is what he does. He plays mid-map on a ton of different search and destroy maps.
It's so hard to read as well because you time it differently. Sometimes he'll hit it straight at the beginning. Sometimes he'll wait till the last possible minute to hit mid-map, and other times it's like 10, 20 seconds into the round. Well, that's a War Machine. Wuskin flies it out, finds first blood onto Jet Li. Advantage Reciprocity. That's going to be nullified, though, as Envy through mid-map. Finds Shawnee. Will be traded out. More trades back and forth. 3 versus 2 in favor of Reciprocity.
Parzilian does have that bomb in hand, but at this point, where do you go? 28 seconds. The last time you saw the War Machine, it was over by B, but that's just kind of where you are. But Zed is by himself. And if you win this gunfight, honestly, you have hope in the round. Wuskins, the War Machine's going to be gone, but Zed says, no, thank you. I'll take the quick 2-piece. And as you said, that is a beautiful way to end the round and a very solid job by Reciprocity. It was kind of interesting. We talked about Envoy flanking mid, which he does, and gets a kill, but then Tommy just somehow slipped through, and then he's in mid-map late as well. Picks up that kill, solidifies the round. The machine was nice, so very well done by Reciprocity.
Another play that comes from Vents on this map. Right there, for this time it was Tommy, sneaks through, as you said, gets mid-map, and then the flurry of trades comes through. Reciprocity, though, keeping it close, keeping it interesting. Down 4-3. As they go back onto an attacking round, it's going to be another mid-map push, but this time Midnight, they've read it. So many players mid-map from both teams. Tommy does have Grav Slam, though. Is this going to be the deciding moment? Parzilian with first blood. Do you still want to invest it? If you're Tommy, well, he's going to spot 3 players and gets himself all 3. Pre-firing Vents, it's a great read, but sadly gave it up a fraction too quick. And after the immediate chaos to start the round, we find ourselves in a 2v2.
Pick up a 3-piece with a Gravity Slam just for a dead even round.
Yikes.
That bomb, though. Looks like Reciprocity are in the flank. If Midnight pushes this the wrong way, they might just get completely caught. I think that door opening, Den just heard that. So now they're expecting the kitchen push, but at some point it doesn't come in. You know they're over towards A. But do you want to play for the kills, expecting them to check A, clear it out, and then wrap over towards B, or do you want to plant it right away?
Oh, the mind games chance.
Yeah, incredibly difficult decisions here. It looks like they're going to plant and get it down for free. Brack's coming through mid, and it looks like Llama God, well, if they break the glass, they might just double back, which is the case, but I have to imagine Sean is going to be like, hey, they broke the glass and they're not here. So you watch one way, I'll watch the other, and we'll try to make this work.
This could come down to just great timing. And that could be the timing right there as Dens peeks away, spots Llama. Llama has Dens weak. Brack slides across, not going to go for the defuse just yet. Now might be a good time to, though. 20 seconds left. How long can Llama distract? He needs to cover, but Shawnee doesn't give any chances whatsoever that round. Finds the pick. Team kill comes through, but Rec win the round.
And that definitely sounded like the Annihilator.
Pretty sure it was.
So he's going to invest that, which I'm cool with, because it's not easy to take care of that player on bomb when you're dealing with an ICR. So, like, it's not a great situation for Midnight, probably like a 20% chance that they pull it off, but even if there is a chance, I'm completely fine with the Annihilator getting pulled out, even if Den just wants to kill everyone towards the end there. But again, another solid round for Reciprocity. I think we've had an offensive round win a piece from either team, and then it's been nothing but defense. Of course, on defense now is Rec trying to go at 5-4. They got pressure over towards B. They got players here. They got mid-map control. Midnight, it might be a little bit tough to cross, but it helps if Barzilian takes everyone down. Shawnee over top is able to find one, and this is about as good as it gets. Now Zed going out for the slide. Midnight, one player got behind him. That was Zenvoy, and a team kill does come in, but doesn't matter. Reciprocity, they do have that 4 versus 2.
There's a round to put you at map point. Armor trying to pre-fire anything, but nothing going their way. Important to note, of course, Bomb is still down over towards that B site. It's going to be so tough for them to try and retake. You do have a 10% and Annihilator to play with, but I tell you got to be very brave to call it in a round like this. Down 2 versus 4. Shawnee still just jiggle peeking over towards the left. Barzilian's going to spot it. He will claim Bomb. They have to back away. 25 seconds. Slow peek. Does he spot Shawnee? I think he just does. The player closer to Bomb, though, it's going to be Zed. Both players weak. The flank's going to come through surely. Here it is from Wuskin. And Wuskin and Tommy secure the round. Reciprocity, 1 round away from tying the series.
And another good round. I mean, maybe you want to call the team kill a mistake, but even then they had a huge man advantage, and then when the 30, 35 seconds of kind of stableness comes from the round, no one makes mistakes, no one gets picked, you double up on either side, you play the buddy system, and you make things work. And again, it cannot be understated how important this map and this series is for Reciprocity, sitting at 1-3 in the league right now. And getting a win over the team that's currently sitting on top is a boost for confidence, helps you out in the standings, gives you a boost for the rest of the week. And this is something, again, that Reciprocity pretty much need.
Quick glance at the map on this, and you can already see Reciprocity flooding over towards the B site. Llama, their first blood, as Midnight try and force around 11. And bear in mind how close Jet Li is to a Graph Slam. As I say that, the final tick comes through, and he will secure it. And this is going to be one of those decisions where you have to make your mind up. Do you want to invest it this round to force around 11 if the push comes through?
If you get a good situation as the Gravity Slam, by all means, because they also have the War Machine, they also have the Annihilator, and the Tempest. So they got all the big boy kill streaks out right now, or kill specialists. And so just to secure the round, force the round 11, because you'll have 3 more the next go around. So if one person from Midnight makes the investment, I'm cool with that.
Push again, coming over towards the A site. Pop flash from Emboy doesn't connect with much. War Machine, thought he was going to pull it out there for a second. Got a little scared, but Tommy does find one. Barzilian, he's going to pull out the Annihilator. There should be 3 kills, but he has to connect with them. Now they know where he is. Now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Finally able to find one. That's Bomb. Bear in mind, it's in a horrible spot. Jet Li pushing in towards Vents. He's going to get great timing on Wuskin, who was reloading. Now it's a 3 versus 2. 10 seconds left. The War Machine comes out as well. They invest very heavily just to force that to that round 11.
Well, obviously they needed to. So it was an investment well earned. We also need new words other than investment. Got to pull out at the source to try to figure something out, but that's exactly what it is. They utilize their specialists to secure the round. That's the Annihilator gone, the War Machine gone. I don't believe they pulled out anything else to make it happen. Still got the Gravity Slam for the final round, and this is something that has to be on Reciprocity's mind. They're going to know that he hasn't used it all game, and they got to be concerned about it. So I don't even know who's on defense, but assuming it's Reciprocity, you don't want to stack up too heavily on the B site. Don't want anybody in the back. You can't even stack up mid. You got to stay away from Jet Li at all costs.
Tempest, Grav Slam. Denz is going to pop his Tempest straight off the rip just in case there was a push over towards A. How much of that is going to be bled. Besides that, there's nothing else really at play outside of the Tech 5, of course, which is invested early. Tommy looking to maybe try and get the flank in. Oh, well, this is just fantastic for him. He finds first blood on Envoy. Now causing so many problems for Midnight. Oh, the shot punch! Oh, Brack falls! Tommy trying to take the round over completely by himself! Tommy, are you serious? The grab slam as well! The thorn in Midnight's side! Jetly tries to respond, but this round is won thanks to Tommy from Reciprocity. He hits the flank, finds one, turns everyone from Midnight to draw their attention towards him, then gets a second, realizes the third push is coming through, grab slams as well. A beautiful round there from one of Europe's finest players.
Big money plays in round 11, a map that Reciprocity needs and a map they get. And it had to be Tommy, right? Like, there's no other option. Goes on the flank. He was like 70% of the way to the gravity slam, and he gets all the kills and he earns it. That is a hell of a round for Reciprocity, a map that they need. And going into Control, honestly, not a terrible spot for Rec to be in. They got a decent record so far, but they have a mountain to climb. Stay tuned when we come back with Control.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Game 2 was won by one beautiful individual play. It came from Reciprocity's Tommy, and it seems the perfect time to take a look at the Scuff Gaming play of the game, which was, of course, the fantastic flank from that young man. Takes round 11 under his belt, says, nope, this is all me. Don't worry, teammates, I got this. A great individual play. Like we said, flanks, finds one, draws everyone from Midnight to the back of the map, finds the second, then grab slams the third. A wonderful individual effort.
That poor man. That poor man for that final death. But the cool thing about that was the reason he was able to flank as fast as he did, Dens pulls out the Tempest straight off the rip, which sometimes when you blind pop a specialist, it's not always great for you, but Tommy was like, oh, they're not here. If they show up, Dens is going to kill him instantly. I'll be there for the trade. So he goes flying. So he's back in the spawn at Midnight faster than anyone would ever normally expect it to happen. He gets the timing down perfect. He makes the right plays. And I will say, I think it would have been hilarious if the replay guy showed his like 3-piece grab slam like a couple rounds before, instead of be like, that's the 3-piece that won the game, and ignore the round 11. Because again, he did have two. He had two pretty big plays to help solidify the game. And it's a squeaker, but they'll take it.
Oh, absolutely. Especially against Midnight. Team top of the division, you'll take anything you can get against these guys. Now we head into a Game 3 Control Seaside. And what's funny is last week, if you remember, gents, on the last day, we kind of looked at our series and said, we feel like we haven't casted a Seaside Control for quite some time. First cast this week, Seaside Control.
It's very true. And earlier, when I was doing the breakdown at the end, whatever it's called, I was saying, it's not a terrible map for Reciprocity, who, by the way, are doing a kind of weird strat. Tommy's going to be going all the way around. A couple players flooding in through mid, so they are going to get control early. But last week, 0-4 in control, which seems terrible. But this map in the PLQ, they were 2-1. So they haven't played this map yet because they haven't had a Seaside, so this is their first look in a long time. So it's not a great spot because obviously Midnight 3-1 in control, quite a bit better than not winning a single time. But there's hope.
Yeah, and this was the map, of course, if you remember, where Reciprocity had that cute little strap where Tommy flanks all the way through barrels, delay push over towards B, and then they jump in and hit it as it stands, though. Not going to see any cute strats so far here. Midnight, a 3-life advantage, 45 seconds left, and 0 ticks in either point.
Well, now they're finally making their huge move out. But Rack is pushed up aggressively. Shouldn't win the second gunfight, but he does. Jet Li comes back. Barzilian picks up kill. Everything right now going well for Midnight. The push to A, it can be great at times, but Midnight never really took the bait. They just left 2 players at B the entire time, expecting the eventual wrap back. Now the stuns are coming in, just destroying their lives. Zed is able to find 2. Players now able to flood through the front. 15 seconds on the clock, though. They're down by 6 lives. They're going to have to pull off something big, but Zed is going for it. Man's on a 3 spree.
I was going to say this at the start, but Llama just delayed the contest at B so long, bleeding time off the game clock. Barzilian now hits a late flank. That's a double. No one in B. 8 seconds to go. Wuscom will fall. One final desperate attempt from Zed, as he will find the pick. Tommy's hit mid-map. I guess the round not over just yet. What would that kill? Surely now. That will seal the deal. Not enough time for Reciprocity to even touch the hill. So, early advantage to Midnight.
And it was just well played by Midnight. Like, the benefit, if you're on offense, of going to A off the rip is if you manage to get inside A and start picking up kills, you go to the harder control point and you start racking up some time, and then you're in a great spot. But even if you get shut down, then you just wrap to B, and normally everyone on defense wraps out of B because they need to protect A at all costs. Midnight halfway does that, but they leave a couple players at B expecting the wrap to come at some point. It does. They have complete map control, and the players off the rip on the defensive end at A picked up enough kills that it was fine. So about as good as it gets on defense for Midnight, and now we can see if they put something together on offense.
Well, Tommy's going to be the only player mid, and, well, I heard the desperate call out from here. How do they react, though? And, well, it's going to be 2 players pushing mid, 3 players pushing mid, and they baited out a rotation completely. The push is still coming in at A. Now it's a split push. Time coming in both, and you can see the yellow arrows spinning around in circles, not quite sure where to push.
And, well, you have to protect A as well, so Shawnee's going to be going for it. But while this is going on, of course, the players at B racking up a ton of time. Barzilian hunts Dens down. And yes, A does get cleared out by Midnight, but again, that's the beautiful thing about the stretch. You make them allocate the resources. You can't thrive over at B on defense because you need to protect A at all costs, and now it's just free time over towards B. Getting close to that second tick, this is where they make their move with that kill feed. It's just going to be that purple on the left side. 3 players coming in the left. Barzilian inside the hill as Tommy beats down Zed. Does get traded, and Midnight will be happy with the team kill. They will be able to secure B. They have the man advantage. And now they're going to have 2 minutes and 12 seconds plus 4 lives to get that A point.
We're still trying to put pressure on A as well. It was enough to give Midnight control of B. As you said chance. Plenty of time now to formulate an attack over towards A. Kill comes through. That's going to be Tommy. Already Jet Li looking to try and find some spawn kills. Almost a little awkward, but he does find the pick on Tommy. Turns around. Zed slides straight out. Not going to let him escape with his life. Parzialian being forced to play a little slow. Was 300 away from streaks. Unfortunately will fall. Life count at 4. Still advantage Midnight. Llama 155 now away from streaks. This could be big.
And again, just to highlight, it was Parzialian in the hard point that had the #1 KD. He has a good game. They get the win. It was Brack that had the #1 Surge KD. Doesn't have a great game, albeit not terrible in the search, but they fall there. It's Llama God that has a ridiculous KD in control. He's 12-2 right now, looking for streaks, staying alive. And should he pick up one more kill, he's going to earn some more. And that stun is honestly just going to do the job for him. He does get dropped, but the Hellstorm is there. But while this is going on, still, this A, 0 ticks coming through. Midnight, they might just need to play this by kills.
Well, the life advantage at 3. Still over 60 seconds to go, so you have time. Tommy stunned. He finds 1, finds 2. Tommy looking for the 3rd. He himself also getting a little close to streaks. As I say that, though, falls. As to the rest of his team, the life advantage back to 4. It seems every time Reciprocity put themselves in an advantage, they just can't seem to win the second wave of gunfights. It's been their problem so far. Prime example, here we go once again. First wave of gunfights, 1. They reduce the life count down to 2. The following gunfights, though, should, if history to repeat itself for what feels like the 5th time this game, go back over towards Midnight.
And that timing, by the way, from Envoy was perfect. I'll bet you $1 what he's doing.
Counting.
Pulling up the scoreboard and waiting to see that skull disappear. Says they can spawn up, but if you stare at the back, they're not always going to spawn there. So you got to look away. You got to get the timing right. He does exactly that, and he picks up 4 at the end. And again, that could not have possibly been done better. It's not the most impressive thing in the world, but that's something if you want to improve your own gameplay, it's something you got to consider. You can't just blindly push out to check the spawn and guess the timing right. Just take the time. Pull up the scoreboard. You see exactly when they spawn up. Then you go for the instant challenge, and you catch those players off guard because they're alive for half a second before they're dead again, and that is frustrating. That's also an offensive round one for Midnight. They're up 2-0, and the woes for Reciprocity in control continue.
Spawn manipulation, 101, right there. And Midnight, as you said, 2-0 up now. Can they close it out here with a defensive round win? For Reciprocity, nothing cute. Keep it simple. Flying over towards B, the pressure already there. Stun grenades coming out. Almost a full tick in as Dens is going to get traded out. He finds himself a double, actually, so somehow does stay up. We did have a grab slam. Can't invest it there, though. 1 tick into B. Can they get more?
Gotta imagine they might potentially have to deal with a lightning strike, which that's gonna come in right away from Llama God. Those players have to get tucked inside those steps. So they're able to stay alive, but that does mean control can probably come right back to Midnight, or at least make the moves. Zed, though, beats down Jet Li. Brack on the flank is only able to pick up 1. He's by himself. He gets dropped as well, so lightning strike gone. And Reciprocity, the streaks in this series from Midnight have seemed to have benefited Reciprocity so much.
Yep.
Every single time.
Just try and kill the other team, man. That's all you gotta do if you're Midnight. Dens, for what feels like the 5th time this series, getting close to some streaks, 120 away. He hasn't earned any so far. Could this be the turning point? A massive life advantage, by the way. 6. Jet Li hits the flank, finds Wuskin. Bear in mind, Dens still close to streaks. He's been forced to push straight through. Players to his left, player to his right, player behind. Looks towards the spawn, finds 120 points. All he needs now to secure those streaks. Whilst pressure is still coming in towards A, wisely just backs away, repositions himself, but needs to find the gunfight. Does so. Lightning Hellstorm earned by Dens.
He's doing everything to stay alive, getting close to the drone squad, but he does get dropped. While that's going on, it is the rest of Reciprocity. I was going to say pushing inside of A. All of them die collectively, and if you remember that life advantage they once had, now down to 1 life. Attack 5 is going to be popped from Midnight. Players hear that. Jet Li doesn't pick up Wuskins, who is apparently perfectly behind that pillar. But with Attack 5, gunfights are seemingly going their way, but it's still that 1 life difference.
And best case scenario here for Midnight is you try and force Dens to just use those streaks. Use them in this round, and even if you lose the round, not the end of the world. You just don't want him to be able to hold onto them and take it into a following round as Llama finds a double. There's the first. The Hellstorm comes through. Annihilator out for Parzilian. He finds one, 9 to 10. Life advantage still in favor of Reciprocity. His Dens now, is his hand forced almost to use that lightning as well? That's the question. You don't really have too much control as Parzilian hits the jump headshot there. The lightning strike now comes in. 175 away from streaks is Parzilian.
I mean, we're setting off car alarms with these kind of shots. Dens gets the trade with the Tempest, but who wins that 1v1? The Annihilator every single time. He stays alive, has the help, still has a couple Annihilator shots. Well,
oh my God.
The timing, though, is terrible. 7v3 now. 7v2, and it's looking like Reciprocity. They bounce back on the offense, on the attack, and that's a lot of stuff burned for Midnight. It's a couple streaks, it's the Annihilator, it's the TAC 5, it's the Gravity Slam, and Brack tries to go away as fast as possible to avoid feeding any streaks to the opponent. But now this is where things get interesting, because if you're Rec, you just burned a ton from the opposing team. Yes, you had to use quite a bit yourself, but now you're going towards defense where things are a little bit easier for you. And this could very well be a round 5 situation.
Potentially, you know, on the plus side here, you kind of brought it up yourself there. You know, Rec use their streaks. So if you're Midnight, you don't have to worry about that. A lot of specialists used, of course, in that round for both teams. So we'll see. We shall see, but Reciprocity stay alive here in game 3. Still the advantage 2-1 for Midnight. As there you can see a couple of players are changing their classes as they get ready to go into this round. It's going to be an important one. There's Midnight on the attack.
See if they pull out anything creative. Again, they kind of had a split push last time around. It looks like they might be going for a delayed split push as well. It's Jet Li working with someone inside mid, and now it looks like a lot of players are moving over towards mid. The timing maybe not as good as it could have been, though. Reciprocity, they do clean house. And you see Rec is concerned about players from Midnight rotating over towards A, but that simply just hasn't happened. Now you got 5 players surrounding 2 inside the hill. Zed's by himself. He gets dropped. Tommy's on the outside, but now they're in control. Should be good for at least a tick, bar this lightning strike causing problems.
And they were worried about it because it was what Midnight did the round prior. Lightning comes through, finds one. Of course, Tommy's still working towards further streaks. 65 points is all he needs, but that's a war machine. Gotta stay alive, not gonna stay alive. Envoy with 3, and the cap now starting to come in. More players from Reciprocity. You gotta be careful because I don't think they were had flak on, but luckily that trophy eats the last war machine.
Well, 2 ticks are gonna be in. Rec is gonna be fighting for this as well. Dens is leading the charge. Now Tommy's coming around because he's got the grab spike, but he also gets taken down by Brack. Wuskin, though, on the flip side, uses War Machine as well. He finds one. You see Flak Jacket is in play. That keeps 2 players alive, but either way, no ticks have come into B. This is a lot of time getting drained off the clock, so even if Midnight on this final push get in, that leaves them in a tough spot just to get A later on.
On to the specialists. Tommy still with Grav Slam. Zed working close towards Crash. That's not really going to have too much effect. Llama, of course, does have Tempest, but the pinch comes through now over towards B. It's going to be contested. Envoy inside the hill finds one. Life count 16-14. Advantage Midnight, but barely. Tommy could make a play. I had a little vision there that maybe a 4-piece Grav Slam comes in towards the hill, but it's not going to be the case. And now, if you are Reciprocity, it's about what you have to invest. What are you forced to invest here just to take this to a round 5?
Pretty much everything. Unless you make like one huge play, pretty much everything. Shawnee, by the way, pulls out the Rampart for a moment. Couldn't tell you why, but he picks up kills with it, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that is that first clearance. It is tied on lives. Everyone is trying to push to this flip side, but Shawnee with attack 5, switch back to the Maddox. Not able to pick up a kill. Wuskin's probably just going to get dropped as well because that is a lot of players from Midnight surging through. Tommy that has that grab slam still if he needs it. But every time it seems like a situation's creeping up, he just keeps getting taken down.
You got to put yourself in a position to use it though, right? And that's going to be the key here for Reciprocity. 8-8 life count, 30 seconds. Time is ticking. Of course, it's Midnight that needs to put the pressure on as Shawnee gets the beat down. Can he find one more? Hip fire helps there as Zed comes in from behind. Llama now invests the Tempest. 20 seconds, a 1 life advantage for Reciprocity. Connects with Shawnee. Not going to be able to pick up the kill. Slide straight through. And there was Reciprocity ready and waiting. 7 versus 2. We're going to a round 5. And more importantly, Tommy has been able to hold on to that Grav Slam.
And you got the Annihilator as well. You're creeping up on the Tempest. And Llama got in an interesting situation where they're down by a couple lives. He wants to pull out the Tempest to try to make the big play at the end. Does not work. Now you go to a round 5. You're down on one of the big boy specialists that you are certainly not going to get back. And this is, again, an incredibly doable situation now for Reciprocity, who are making big plays. The War Machine was very good. Wuskins, I think, picked up a couple as well. And they had to deal with, like, Envoy cleared out 3, and they still managed to bounce back. They fought so hard over towards the B site that the time just kept getting drained off the clock, even with Rampart for a moment. Rex putting in work.
Round 5. Very, very close series thus far. This more like the wreck that you want to see. Important to note, Zed 75 points away from streaks. And it's such a horrible position to be in because you don't want to play too passively. You don't want to leave your teammates high and dry, but at the same time, you don't want to just give away an advantage. There's Tommy now making his way over towards A. Is he going to push through? Again, that grab slam here chances. It's going to be the difference maker.
Or the difference maker might just be Wuskins is able to pick up a couple. They have just given up on B. They're moving over towards A. And Tommy's playing this perfectly, just playing it slow because his teammates have control of the back. Zed is going to start going for spawn kills. And now the player that's for Midnight over towards B, he has to wrap back because they need to protect this point at all costs. They're down on lives. 1 tick is coming through. And I don't know if Tommy's still alive. He's alive somewhere on the map, but he's far away. But Wuskins able to pick up 1. That team kill comes in for Midnight, and this is just huge. 2 players coming in through checkers. They got to deal with Wuskins inside the hill. Might have 2 in front of him. Gets both of them weak. Lamagod is able to pick up 2. Tommy not able to get in with the grab slam, but they do get that second tick on A. And they're up on lives.
B is wide open.
Yes.
B is wide open. Midnight spawning on the other side of the map. There's a flank that comes through from Parzilian onto Wuskan, but I don't think Wuskan's going to be too concerned about that in the grand scheme of things here because 2 ticks into A. They're about to get their first into B, still waiting so patiently for the first defensive push to come through from Midnight. Tommy's going to meet him. Finds the first again, still with a grab slam. How much longer is he going to wait before he invests it? A couple of times you've looked at where maybe he could have done, but it doesn't matter because right now Reciprocity about to have 2 full ticks in both zones. This is surely theirs to lose.
Flank comes in though, Midnight clean shop, and it's great that you have 2 ticks in A, but you got to get B as well. They only got 1 on board. And they're going away from it. They are pushing all up this right side. It is Brack by himself. That's 1 player gone by, takes him down. Does not pick up the second. The trades come in for Wreck. But now Midnight's wrapping back. The question is, do they send everybody? It looks like they're leaving 1 player over towards B, but that time is ticking down. You got to make a big play.
It's so important that they kill Tommy that first because it means he's going to be furthest away from the action, so you can't necessarily just lose this zone to a grab slam. 20 seconds though, 11 to 10 in the life advantage. Parzilian jumps out. He shuts down Shawnee. Now Tommy, you can see him being so patient, waiting so carefully here. 10 to 9 the life count. Tommy with another. Dens has used his specialist. The Tempest is out and Wreck with the advantage. Tommy's trying to watch the rotation here from A to B.
But he could just go to B, just hop on that point. They're going to have 1 player there, but Lamagod has been missing this entire time. And this is a huge gunfight for him to win, but that A point's down. 7v5, Lamagod falls 7v3, make it a 6v3 inside the hill, and you still, well, you use the grab slam, but you got full control. And Wreck, I don't even know how you do it. It's got to be a big play. Got to find 2, but Shoddy takes him down. And Reciprocity, 0-4 in control, no longer. They get their first win against Midnight to go 2-1 up in the series.
It's a hell of a control game to win against a team
from down 2-0.
So flawlessly, yeah. The reverse sweep, if you will, in the control itself. Some great decision making coming out of Reciprocity on when to split push, which zone to push, where to put the pressure, and then to close it out as well as they did. A wonderful game 3 from them. Now up 2-1 in the series. Here's a quick glance, a replay at how things ended, because it ended very, very quickly. There was the big flurry of kills for Reciprocity. At this point, you're thinking, all right, still anybody's game, but they at least get inside that A zone.
Yeah, I mean, we highlighted the grab slam so much, and then Dens comes out, picks up 2 with the Tempest, and then everyone's like, oh, we can't come in the back door. This puts 3 players inside, and then you got a pinch from either direction. Tommy, though, incredibly safe with the grab slam, didn't burn it at all, and smart, I should say, instead of safe. And once you get this A point, honestly, in my mind, I would just wrap back if I was Tommy, but you can play up for the kills as well. And of course, this is the big gunfight because Lamagod could have made a play. He wraps back though in Dens. He picked up 2 with the Tempest. He picks up the kill at the end and just that entire kill feed. Tommy, by the way, picked up 2. He got 1 with the grab slam, got the second with the Matic, so he's making big plays on the other side of the map. And that was a situation that seemed almost impossible for Reciprocity because even when they made the decision to wrap towards A over through barrels, like Brack was there, he still took at least 1 with them, so the players from Midnight wrapped back in time. and they just made it work. And again, big plays from Dens, big plays from Tommy. Even Wuskins inside the hill was picking up kills. So that is huge for them to get their first control win on the board.
I mean, Wuskins was top tank for what felt like an eternity that round.
Every
spraying down, yeah, every single one of them. But here's how the series has been so far. Game 1, 250-183. The Search and Destroy, round 11. The Control, round 5. We now head over towards a Hacienda hardpoint. Is Rec going to do it, Chance?
Well, here's
Are they going to do it?
On this map, I doubt it. The good news for them is that control win is huge, because that means you get a guaranteed Game 5. And the Game 5 is where things get interesting, at least in my mind, because for S&D, for Midnight, yes, they've been great. They're 4-1 now, and they're 1-0 on the map, but they were 1-2 in the PLQ. So it's not their strength. This is not the Search and Destroy map that these guys picked. And on the flip side, it is one of Reciprocity's better one. And that's assuming that we even get there. The reason I say we're probably going to get there right now, undefeated, is Midnight on Hacienda. 8-0 overall. Currently 2-0 in the Pro League. They were 6-0 at the PLQ. Then on the flip side of things is, dead even. 2-2 for Reciprocity. 8-0.
Okay.
2-2.
Yeah, the AL
if you had to make a pick, if you had to.
Sounds a little better, that's for sure, but you never know. You never know with Reciprocity. Is that going to give them the extra needed confidence boost to push them over the edge? And, we've consistently said throughout week 1, Midnight, how are they going to react when they face with adversity? There was that conversation that we had on Trading Shots about, where would you place Midnight if there was an event tomorrow? And one of the big pieces of feedback that everyone kind of gave is, we haven't really seen what it's like for them playing on a Mesa. We've seen them perform very well here. Now, though, down in a series, this is where we'll truly get to see what they're made of.
Were they down in the series against Red Reserve?
No.
I know they lost the control, but I don't know if they went 2-0 up.
I think they were 2-0 up.
Okay. Well, they felt minor amount of adversity before. Now they are going to get kicked up.
They felt it a little bit by little bit, and it's increasing, and it's just interesting to see how they react to those bits of adversity.
And again, another point for Reciprocity, like their hardpoint record isn't great. I think, 2-5. They lost the first, 2-6 now. But if you got to imagine the 2 100-point leads that they had that they blew, then they would have started out at day 4-3 and they'd be 4-4, which isn't great. But now they're playing from a spot of comfort. They know they have the fallback plan for that game number 5. And some of the performances they've had from individuals this series, and then of course Tommy, you got to keep highlighting in hardpoint as well. I think he's one of the leaders in the Pro League. I think he might actually be the leader for damage in hardpoint. You're capable of winning this. It's just about putting it together. And honestly, if you're Reciprocity, you probably want to hope that Midnight earns some score streaks. It's one of the best things for Rec this series is apparently when Midnight's calling in score streaks, things just are not going well.
Yeah, very, very badly indeed. Watching Tommy, man straight off the rip, finds the first couple of picks. Surely is Brazilian challenges, but no. Breck will find that kill. Meanwhile, elsewhere, on the first hill, it's very hard to solidify it down for a big chunk of time. You can, of course, if you control top corridor, but normally you see that kind of 50-50 split. It's more the fight for the spawns for the second hill over towards garages.
It almost seemed like everyone in the game was like, the hill starts at rock now? Yeah. Did that pass come through? Because everyone was showing pressure over there, but you show pressure over there to try to get this top hallway control so you could potentially flank around and get Lambo control. But either way, only 15 seconds left on this one. There's not really anything cooking up too heavy. No one really even for scrap time. But right now, Midnight, a lot of players on the wrong side of the map, but in the back trying to lock down these spawns. It's going to be Lamagod on Brazilian trying to deal with the pressure, but now Lamagod, he's got to worry about players in Lambo and the back. Someone came in and saved his life. I think it was Jet Li, and Lamagod trusted him enough to not even turn around to win the gunfight on the backside. So looks like Midnight, they're saying, hey, we can hold it from the front.
Nice shots from Llama, tags up Shawnee once again, and Midnight basically just trusted Llama for so long now. It's like 25 plus seconds before anyone from Rec is going to be able to get down to the backside. Meanwhile, it's the teammates inside the hill that have to win their share of fights. Not going to happen. Den's recognizing now has control of the hill. Looking to see if he can try and find a couple of free kills here on Midnight players rotating back.
Yeah, Llama got 9-2, by the way. Just in case you missed the start, there was a lot of him in the kill feed on the correct side, and that is a very solid Lamborghini hill for Midnight because they get a ton of time. Even when Reciprocity breaks on through, it does not last very long. And, well, they got an extra 12 seconds to try to set up to make the break on the next. They got 2 players up top lobby. You got Jet Li going to be working with them up there as well. But Shawnee comes up perfectly timed. It's going to be pretty much a 1v1 versus him and Brack up front. And it looks like, actually, they put just enough pressure to get those back spawns. Reciprocity does have complete hill control.
Slowly but surely chipping away the Midnight lead. 53-25. Midnight just break through. Zed trying to play sneaky inside 10, find a couple of kills. Only able to find one, but it's Wuskin now in the hill, trying to just buy his teammates a little bit of time, rotate over towards him, but Midnight again with some control, and again, Chan's gonna start building a lead.
And it's just like one player right now up top lobby for them as well. It's gonna be Jet Li that's just slowing them down so much, and he calls out the information. Parzilian though, wrong gun for that gunfight, but of course Jet Li comes on the flank to clean him up, is able to at least get the help for the second, does get dropped in. Well, it's been a bit of a scrappy third hill. The Llama God, by the way, started 9-2, now has score streaks, does get dropped, but he's earned the lightning. So even if Reciprocity go over to next, assuming you don't screw the score streaks up,
that's waiting for it.
If you use them well, which this is a much easier map to use them well on than we've seen previously, you should be good to go. Or just don't even use him, because he's been shredding with his gun. 16-3, 17-3 is Llama God, living up to the second half of his name.
Yeah, he's pretty good at COD. That's for sure.
Best Llama I've ever seen.
He may actually have to consider investing the Lightning Strike if he continues at this pace. Not to necessarily just use it, but because you might get another one. Teammates watching the backside. A big sizable lead has developed. Mozu out, doesn't find the kill. Shawnee with 3. As Reciprocity respond, finally break through and do a little bit of damage limitation from this first rotation of hills.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't be too mad if you want to use the Lightning Strike here, although I guess if it's already this time passed, no Megusa, you're not going to want to use it here. At Midnight, again, they just do it with their guns. Honestly, you don't even have to call the Lightning Strike in. They are just shredding with their guns right now. 102 to 46 lead for the moment. And that's just the first set of rotations that are going to be coming in. The question right now for Reciprocity is honestly just how do you slow down Llama God? 19-5, Ben. Having a phenomenal game right now on Hacienda.
I mean, whatever you've tried to do so far clearly hasn't worked. And you still have to deal with that Lightning Strike as well. But Llama has at his disposal whenever he wants to. Meanwhile, Shawnee up top, he's going to be looking down over towards P1 as we now enter our second rotation of hills.
And it really just is a question of like Reciprocity. How do you start swinging back into this? Because it seems like they even have a decent bit of map control over here, but they can't even get inside the hill. And this is just a ton of time just going to waste. Once again, though, there are players from Midnight that are very happy to push the, the quote wrong side of the map to kind of mess with spawns a little bit. And that's just, I guess, how much they trust the players, their ICRs, to lock down the backside of things. So Brazilian desperately needs to stay alive. He's doing a pretty good job of it so far. And that means his entire team is going to be coming from mid. Shawnee, though, eventually finds the kill, which means Wuskins will be able to spawn in the back. And Wuskins is playing it patient, gets a free kill on Envoy. And again, this is a decision that Midnight made to push out the wrong side of the map on the first hill, and they might be paying the price.
And this is a massive 60 seconds for Reciprocity. Gives you your way back into the game and more. Llama's now going to be forced to invest a Lightning Strike. It finds 2. But is there anyone in a position to put pressure onto the hill? Well, it's going to be Jet Li first. He was stunned. Now, finally, Midnight able to break through of what looked like it could get maybe a little scary there for Midnight. They invest the streak, they get the break, and now should be good to clean up the remainder of this time.
It's by far the best streak usage we've seen the entire series so far. Only able to find 2, but they put in the correct work for Jet Li to come around in the back. By the way, that gunfight, it seems like 90% of the time, it goes to the guy that's, like, approaching the hill.
That's because it does.
It's insane how well that, like, camera works, but Zed makes it pay off to get that final scrap time. And, again, it was once a dire situation, but we have ourselves just a 30-point game, which if you paid attention to the kills and deaths, it wouldn't really make much sense to you, because Llama God hasn't really slowed down. 27-9. You want a bigger lead, but, like, you got to keep highlighting. The man has been on a mission from the opening break. It's been outstanding.
Looking for more. Peeks up towards top uppers. Tempest is still available to use. He wants to invest it. As Parzilian will fall. Everyone else from Midnight trying to trade the kills inside the hill. Reciprocity, again, just being a nuisance so far this map. Just not giving up the time that I think Midnight would just appreciate them too, right? You keep talking about these big leads that Midnight could be able to get. Reciprocity just continuously pushing and winning these fights for that scrap.
I mean, this is huge as well. Wuskins get 3. He's got the Lightning Strike, and that is an investment from Midnight, sending a ton of players to go and break. And that's worst case scenario for them. So they do have the complete and full setup. They're going to be at the next hill first, but he's going to at least ping the Lightning Strike to get the information to force these players indoors or well out into the water, which Brack is, but he might just have free kills in front of him. does not get the second kill on Shawnee. Big kill coming from him. Now the lightning strike does get called in to get everyone outside of the hill, and Zed's on through. This is it for Reciprocity. If you get this break, you are right back in this game, but you got to get the kills now that the lightning strike is gone, and Midnight for the moment shuts them down. Shawnee going for the flank. There's arrows looking for him, and they might just hunt him down. Luskins apparently says no, though. He picks up 2, and that's exactly what they need. Shawnee gets the 4th with the help from the Hellstorm. And Reciprocity, we have ourselves a game.
Yes, we do. Final 20 seconds. Good for them. Little push coming through once again. Zed standing ready and waiting. And you need to be careful here. You don't want to feed him too many kills because then could get into the conversation and maybe he gets some streaks here for Reciprocity. Ring around the rosy. 5 seconds left. The EKA would have been perfect for him. Not going to get it. A last second break. But as we stand going into the 3rd and final rotation, a 20-point lead. That's about it. Llama, I mean, it's only a matter of time before he does, quote, slow down comparative to where he was at. Currently sitting at 13 and 15. Still playing out of his mind.
Ton of kills going their way, though. Parzelian on this hill of all hills does pull out the Annihilator. He's able to find 1 so far, and they do have essentially complete map clearance for the moment. You'd imagine top hallway control, but he gets shut down, and that's Annihilator gone to maybe a decent event. They do get quite a bit of time on this middle hill, so you would say that it's a decent usage, and honestly, that 20-point game is looking pretty rough considering Midnight does have these spawns for next, so what does Reciprocity have to the table? Annihilator from Shawnee. Dens has the Tempest. They got quite a bit because Tommy's got the Grab Slam as well, but with the deficit that you have with the lack of spawns, 1, if not 2 players are going to have to burn a Specialist to make a big play towards next.
Most definitely are. Tommy grab slam, that's the start. Finds 1, not able to escape with his life though, and Midnight will be happy with that. Extremely happy. Still control of the hill. 1 player going around the outside. That's going to be number 9. That's Shawnee. Keep your eye on his progression to try and pinch the hill. The stun comes through. Annihilator is out as well. Time's ticking though for Reciprocity. If they want to try and win it here, close it out in 4, you need a perfect break. Then's, of course, with the Tempest. Finds another. War Machine flies through though, and it's Envoy spanning it in towards Garage. 225, 144. Midnight just flying away with this map.
This is just almost brutal at this point, picking up the kills left and right. The War Machine helps him out. More importantly, Llama God was inside the hill, so he's going to take at least 2 to the grave with him. And even Parzelian in the final thing, if he wins this gunfight, that's just that extra time that goes the way. That's everything that could go wrong on that hill for Reciprocity. It did go wrong. They didn't stack up the hill because they knew that Tommy had the grab slam. They had a massive more than 100-point lead, and it was a close game for a second, and then it just wasn't. Midnight forcing the game number 5.
Yeah, you kind of called it. Then you could see it going the distance, and that's exactly what happens. Game 5 for Midnight. Reciprocity have shown nothing but determination and grit, but you still have to close it out here in that Game 5. Midnight, Search and Destroy, I mean, they've been good, and you know, you mentioned the other series they had that went to Game 5. Brack underperformed in Game 2 and stepped up massively in Game 5. Is this going to be one of those deja vu-like performances? For Reciprocity, though, they are playing extremely well. This is what you want to see if you're a European Call of Duty fan, but the series is by no means over yet.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Game 5 to start the day, Chance. Reciprocity, midnight. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the time where, if you're a Rec fan, you finally get to see the squad, the results come through which you expected coming into the Pro League?
Possibly. Game 5, what map is it going to be? It's going to be on Frequency, which, again, we talk about the good news, bad news situation. The good news for Reciprocity is midnight on this map. We're 0-2 at the PLQ. Okay. Bad news is that they've only played it once in the Pro League so far, and they won it 6-4. So maybe cleaned it up just a little bit. Maybe had 2 unfortunate maps at the PLQ, whatever it is, but the record's not great. Reciprocity 3-1, which that's the good news. Bad news is 1-1 in the Pro League. Okay. So the tougher competition, it gets a little bit worse. So if you just purely look at the map counts, you would say advantage Reciprocity, which again, it's absolutely a map and a series that they're desperate for. They got to get some more wins on the board because they are, sitting at 6th place right now? And if this doesn't go well, it's like EG playing LG later on. One of those teams is guaranteed to get a win. So now you got to worry about tiebreakers and yada, yada, yada. Rectors won't have to worry about that if they get this game number 5 win.
Completely agree. Pressure run for Rec. Their start to the league, not been great. On the other side, for Midnight, their start to the league has been sensational. Is it the fairy tale week 1? Is it going to maybe take a couple of bumps in the road, rocky journey in week 2? Well, we'll see, because this very well could be where it starts.
And you talked about how against Red Reserve, like how well does Midnight deal with the pressure when they're down? It's actually very close to the exact same series. It's Midnight won the first hard point, a little bit closer in the Red Reserve game, but then they lost the Search and Destroy, again, a little bit closer in the Red Reserve game, but it was a 3-2 loss for Midnight in the Control, which is the exact same thing that happens here. And then map 4, Midnight came and just blew the European team out of the water. It happened to Red Reserve, it happened to Reciprocity, and then Midnight did close out the game 5. So it's not exactly history repeating itself necessarily, but it's not too far from it. But again, Reciprocity, you got Tommy making big plays. Wuskin also has been making massive plays, not only into Control, but he had a pretty solid first Search and Destroy game as well. But you're going to need those kind of performances because Brack, well, he hasn't had a bad S&D game twice.
And that was the key, right? We talked about it. For Brack, he had a slow game against Red Reserve, but picked it up in the game 5. Or game 2, I should say, was a slow one. Game 5, he played much better, and it could be almost eerily similar. The series has been similar. This could be the same. Massive advantage already for Midnight. 60 seconds left. The trades come through, 3 versus 2, and they have bombed down as well over towards B.
So now it's essentially perfect setup right now for Midnight. You got one guy that's going to be Envoy that's watching the flank. You got 2 guys that are just going to shoulder till Kingdom Come, watching over the bomb and watching mid-map. So if you're Reciprocity, I honestly don't know what you do. You might just have to try to find a pick. You're working through mid. That's what they're going to go with. But again, it's just going to be shoulder on shoulder. He got an ICR, and that means Envoy might be able to wrap back to help out with his teammates. Jet Li's over on one side. Wuskin's grabbed the bomb. He got to push forward, and even if he wins the first gunfight, he would have gotten traded out because everyone for Midnight stacked up perfectly, and it's a pretty solid first round to get on board. Albeit you get the first 2 kills in the round, you should be able to get the win, so Midnight executes.
As long as you don't make any silly mistakes. Absolutely. And no silly mistakes there for Midnight. First round under their belt. Now it's about just trying to get more. Put yourself at the big advantage. I believe the last game 5 against Red was 6-4. Was it? Was that the final scoreline?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I believe it was 6-4 actually.
I know it was close, and again that storyline of Midnight in there facing adversity. Brazilian wasn't exactly prolific with the sniper rifle in the first search. Really getting more success here though. Already, first blood for Reciprocity.
They still do have clearance over towards the B site. They have a little bit of control, but now Rec is starting to work themselves over, and as soon as that first shot comes in, looks like most of the players are going to back out. Envoy lagging a little bit behind. Might be expecting to push through, but while this is going on, Dens has been here the entire round. He's waiting for the wrap, so it's essentially on someone to find a pick, and if it's going to be anyone, it might as well be Barzilian, and honestly, might be able to find Dens if he gets the shot right. Dens, though, might have just shouldered that perfectly. It's a delicate balance that he's working with here. And the shot rings out, so Rec has that information. 28 seconds left on the clock.
Stun comes through as well, so no chance whatsoever there. Finding a sniper shot. Zed pushes through ring. The kills come through. 4 versus 1. Envoy with 14 seconds left. This would be something special. Can't even jump off the map because of the damage he took. He's somehow still alive. Finally, he falls. Tommy with the pick. That's possibly tie things up.
And it's not just the nade. If you remember the first search and destroy we had on Arsenal, there were a couple rounds that honestly Wuskin just let in with a good cluster grenade. There's either no flak jacket or no trophy, and finding those first bloods, which is nice. But more importantly, when Reciprocity had the information, once Barzilian started to take a couple shots, they played it perfectly with the concussion. Because it was as soon as Brack came in, they concussed Barzilian, who can no longer help his friend. Now Brack is going to have to take a solo gunfight by himself against 2 players, essentially, in a terrible spot. They're hard to win. But Barzilian's there with the coverage. Maybe he finds a pick and things go a little bit different, but the concussion stops all that. So a good start, a good middle, and a good end. The start here, though, Dens finds the first blood. Zed somehow staying alive, and that just means the kills go their way. Wuskins finds 2 on the way to make it happen. And Barzilian, the sooner you get off the map, probably the better.
Or, you know.
I mean, at least he died quickly.
That's a plus, right?
It's a silver lining.
Midnight down 2-1 here in the game 5. Reciprocity, a wonderful opening to that round chance. I mean, they get the first kill and then the trade just never came. 4 versus 1 they found themselves in. Right. Again, we can't emphasize it enough just how important this series win would be for them.
In those situations over by you where it's just 8 players on the map said, hey, let's meet up there. Monos, take some gunfights. It honestly can just be a coin toss at times. Like, Zed gets away with, what, like 20 HP, 1 shot. If he dies there, who knows? He wouldn't have been there for the later gunfights, less confusion. It's super fine details in situations like that that can be the difference maker, but we're not going to be at you this time. Reciprocity cleared it out. There's no one to be found. Brack is going to be watching the flank while, of course, his teammates are going to be able to get this bomb down for free over towards the B site. For the moment, they have all their bases covered, but no first bloods in just yet.
And this is something similar in the game, too, Reciprocity. They're not afraid of going for retakes. And they're very good at retaking sites, at least on Arsenal. We'll see if they can have the similar success here on Frequency. Envoy with 1, Lamagod with 2. You remember what I just said about retakes?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll chalk this one up.
I mean, honestly, it's just a pretty good setup there for Midnight, which we can break down in a second once they find and hunt Shawnee down and send him to the grave. Or it looks like he might be able to be quick enough to get off the map, but what I liked about that is the setup they had. They pushed 3 players over towards the Reciprocity spawn side, and we see players all the time. You just shoulder peek, but Envoy just never moved. He gave Reciprocity zero information to work with, but he had a player on either side of him. And we'll actually get to see it now. Has players on either side. They have no idea he's here, so there's no reason to not sprint to try to get control. They run into him. He gets the first free kill, and then it was Llama God behind him that picks up 2 that, again, just sets him up for the free kills in the end. So it's essentially in search and destroy. Happens all the time. It's a game of information. Envoy gave them none to at least find that first kill.
Yeah, another good round. I feel like the search rounds have been good all round from both teams from what we've seen so far this series. I mean, the streak usage, yes, it was a bit of a question mark on that, but another close one here, 2-2. Reciprocity slide straight into you. It worked last time. Braxor already taking a dip off the map. Little early there. 1-3 for him, and this is the woes here for Midnight and their search and destroy. Their star man, the guy who's leading the stats convincingly here in search, has not had the best day in search and destroy so far.
That's 2 shots down, by the way. I was gonna say he might play aggressive, but because the bomb didn't get planted, he was worried about the help. But that is something players always do. If that Moses is ringing out, you count the number of shots and you see if you're feeling lucky for the challenge. This would be a 1v3 for Barzilian. Dens is going for the bomb plant. But honestly, Barzilian might be set up for a 1v1 gunfight over on Shani. Shani, though, plays it well, and that bomb is down. So the good news for Barzilian, he knows exactly where those players are. The bad news is they have bomb down, and there's 2 of them.
This could be clutchable if he gets good timing. He's going to spot Dens first. Oh, shoots, though. Repositions. Gets a little bit of control on the site. If you're Reciprocity, you don't even need to challenge. 23 seconds. Dens is going to fall. Now it's a 1v1. Reach out comes through. Dens with the pick. Reciprocity close out another important round. 3-2 now, their advantage.
And again, you got to point it out. Brack took a tumble straight off the map. It might have been a stun that kind of messed with his timing a little bit, so it might not have been completely at his fault. But either way, again, you talk about the star player. The man has a 2.2 in S&D coming into the day. Had a not terrible, but not up to his standards performance in map number 2. Falling off the map is not going to help. So if you're looking for a player to pick things up, keep your eyes on him. But of course, for Reciprocity, they're just trying to keep that ball rolling, looking for their 2nd series win in the Pro League.
And what a 2nd series it would be.
A huge one. Again, taking down the current top dog in the division. Bar teams that are playing with a substitute.
3-2. Again, in favor of Rec. This round much slower than what we've seen so far. 60 seconds left. Still no first blood. Finally, the wrap comes through for Midnight. They set their eyes on the A site. Now trying to push straight through. Dens right at the back. Bear in mind, he does have a Tempest here. If he opted to use this, the chain potential inside you is massive. As Zed does find first blood. Is it going to be traded out? Shawnee makes sure that the number advantage stays with the Reciprocity.
That bomb is down, though, and time is ticking for this retake. A bunch of players stacked up over towards mid-map. The players are going to make their move over towards you. Llama God just trying to stay alive for the moment. Has Envoy for the help. They're doubling back and forth, and the commitment not there. Tommy, though, on the flank. He's going to have to pick up at least 2. There's the first. He gets the beat down for the second. 1v1. It might be fisticuffs. Barzilian, though, shuts him down with the ICR, and that is a 3v4 hold coming in from Midnight. And you got to be honest, the timing was not great. 2 players fall 1 by 1 inside of you. And then what, 5 seconds later, Tommy's like, hey, I'm here on the flank, which granted, he makes a good play, but the 1v1 gunfight, at least the first one, went to Barzilian, who clutches up in the end. And Midnight, again, a tough team to put down.
It's been very hard so far for teams to even take maps off Midnight. Another Game 5 series for them, though, and they keep it close. 3-3. Flying over towards the B site. Annihilator pulled out for both teams. As Barzilian going to be able to find anything. Bear in mind, 375 is what he needs. 4 streaks, and streaks on this chance could honestly be the difference maker. They have the number advantage, 4 versus 3. Barzilian still hunting. And Brack, that star man that we talked about, 2 and 4 now, as he finds that 2nd kill of the map.
Stays alive as well. They know a player's there, and Barzilian, you can take the solo gunfight if you have the Annihilator, but it does run out. Whoever this is with Bomb, that's going to be Zed. Actually makes the perfect play. Is patient, unfortunately for him. No Annihilator means that Midnight wants to go for the double challenge.
That's unlucky.
Shawnee gets a couple hit markers, does have that FMJ, but he also gets punched in the gut and gets dropped. And that is an Annihilator in, oh God, bankrolled? I got sent a bunch of similes, not similes, synonyms. There you go.
Bankrolled?
I was gonna say investment. Yeah, dude. There aren't really many good
There's no
words other
way
to
of
use
saying
investment. Investment's just so perfect for it. Okay, it's not bankroll. So they use that, they get the round win. More importantly, other than the Annihilator, it does scare Reciprocity off, but there's also a stun came in that I think just completely destroyed like 3 players on Reciprocity, and so the Sogs were able to get in. So it was clearance on the left side with the Annihilator, with the pressure from the Sogs on the right. And a solid round for them to get. Brazilian back with the sniper out in hand. Might be able to find the pick on Tommy, doesn't connect. But that does get clearance over towards the site, and Envoy able to get that first blood.
Flies straight through Tommy. Woskin could be in some trouble. There's one machine that could be used. Instead flies towards the bomb, actually gets out as well. 4v4, 40 seconds. I was thinking the same thing. Does he go for it? Shawnee's invested the Annihilator here for the retake. They have a one-man advantage. And they should now know roughly where they are. Barzilian versus Annihilator. Who you got? I got Shawnee. The Annihilator simply too strong. Brett 1v4 makes it 1v3. He will drop. I'm going to say it again. Barzilian with that sniper rifle today has not been hitting the same shots you're used to seeing him hit.
It's been, well, even when he's hit the shots, he's been getting hit markers anyway.
Yeah.
But it's tough to put that all on the sniper simply because, like, he did his job. He gets the pick on Tommy. Tommy's like, oh, God, I got to, like, run away. And then Envoy can take the gunfight with a Sog.
That's a gunfight you need to win, though.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it did pan out in that regard. The biggest play was just Shawnee had an Annihilator. Like, it helps. It helps to have the Annihilator, and importantly for Reciprocity is they did save the TAC-5 as well, just to keep a little bit more utility at their disposal.
Again, another very, very close map. 4-4. TAC-5 invested by Reciprocity. Flying mid-map.
A little bit aggressive because they have the extra health to make it happen. You have to imagine you got to get this first blood if you got the TAC-5. That is a TAC mask, and more importantly, that's a war machine. You had flak, yes, but that is 3 shots coming your way. And you get the bomb down, but for a 4v5, the war machine gone. Envoy working with his teammates, has a 1v1 gunfight, doesn't lose those. Dents for the trade. And it looks like Zed down low is able to pick up 1, but trades left and right, 3v1 for Midnight, and they are hunting Dens down, but that's kill number 1. This might be kill number 2. Looking for the 3rd, isn't full health, and Brack takes him down. He guessed wrong, and it would have been a sweet play to get, but it doesn't happen. So Midnight will be able to, again, just retake this lead.
That would have been massive.
That would have been a
dagger. Nasty 1v3 clutch as well, but not able to find the final kill. Because of that, Midnight with an advantage. Put himself at series point. I think utility left here for Midnight to use. Obviously the War Machine comes out that round. The TAC-5, of course, from Reciprocity.
Tempest, Gravity Slam. I don't believe they've used it, so they might be creeping up on it.
There it is, Jet Li, Grav Slam, Brack, TAC-5, Llama close to his. TAC-5 is going to be used straight off the rip for Reciprocity. Woskin is close to a War Machine. That is about all you have going for you.
It's worth pointing out, though, you already see Flak Jacket on at least Jet Li. I assume a couple have it. And you do have that Gravity Slam if you get close, but now do you even want to push? You got to deal with a sniper. Granted, you do have that TAC-5, but looks like they're not going to play any games.
And that's a smart read, right? Because you know when you have Grav Slam, you're more than likely going to push that U side. So Tommy says, all right, I got it. Let me pull out a sniper rifle. I'll play super passive and see if we can try and shut down that push. As now Midnight forced to rotate.
And on the flip side, I think Wuskins actually does have his War Machine now, if not getting close, but it doesn't matter because they wrap it back. There's one TAC-5 utilized perfectly, and now it's gone. The sniper's got to back off. Denz, though, able to find one, and he gets out with his life. But complete side control over at A. Midnight did clutch a 3v4 once they got the bomb down. Now they're going for the 4v5, and Jet Li, the Grav Slam, is just going to bury Reciprocity. Bar a big play. Wuskins, though.
Hold up.
Able to get 3. All of a sudden, 2v1.
How has that just happened?
It doesn't matter. Wuskins putting the team on his back, and he's like,
Wuskin
makes the perfect play. Laying down in this game can be surprising, and it caught Gently off guard. And that's what? It was a 5v4. You get triple killed by the grab slam. So what's the math on that? It's a 4v2, and Wuskin picks up 3. And we better see that in the play of the game. That has to be shown. Because it just happened so fast. It seems like it's over. And Wuskin's just like, no. We're going to a round 11.
Lying down on your belly. Look at him. Sneaky little man. Sometimes you crawl as well. It helps. 1, 2, 3 from
They didn't
Wuskin.
see it coming.
No one ever lies down in this game, Chance. That's why it can be sometimes so powerful as the 4th comes in as well, and Wuskin cleans him up as well. Same place. I can't believe Jet Li gets a triple with a grab slam, and it should be done until that man, the sneaky beaver Wuskin, comes up big for Reciprocity.
It's worth pointing out Wuskin did have a teammate for bait. It's also worth pointing out you don't need to push that. You got a bomb down. You can see the bomb from you. Not that side of the map, but they wanted the round. And now Tommy's got the grab slam.
He did it in
Man,
game
this is
2.
it. Again, Reciprocity pretty much need this win to have any sort of good graces in the Pro League. To fall down to 1 and 4, it just makes your run so much more difficult. Dens has another Tempest. This is it, Ben.
Tommy made the play in game 2. For me, he's the person to look at. Yes, Wuskin just had a great round. He has a War Machine. There's so much utility here for Reciprocity. You've got that grab slam. You have the War Machine. You have a Tempest. And there's nothing outside of a Tempest available for Midnight. The push is going to be delayed. The nade comes out. War Machine now comes out, but you expect to see Flak Jacket on everyone here from Midnight, realistically. War Machine spam connects with just 1 at the very end. Tempest is now out as well. I believe that did connect. Stun comes out, 28 seconds left. They have to fly. Midnight looking for the retake. First blood comes in for Wuskin. Then still trying to find a pick. He connects with another. Meanwhile, mid-map it's Jet Li, and that shuts down the grab slam. Tommy went for it. Now all of a sudden, 3 versus 4. 15 seconds left on the clock. Llama was down. Now he has a Tempest of his own. You still have to punt the bomb. For Midnight, this could be it. Dens gets a chain. Dens with all 3 to close it out. And Reciprocity take it in game 5. Extraordinary plays from extraordinary individuals to close that one out.
Undefeated no longer. Midnight falls off the hand of massive plays from Tommy in game number 2. Massive plays from Wuskin and Dens in the game number 5. It took a ton of effort for Rec to make it happen, but they got the job done. And that's got to feel sweet. Again, this is a team whose record would be a lot better had they not blown a handful of 100-point leads. They did not have the clutch factor, but they had a couple days off to kind of regain, and regain they did. Holy hell, what a series, Ben.
Finally feels like a little bit of luck goes their way, right?
Yeah, a lot of bit of luck goes their way.
How some of the series have gone for Reciprocity, it was a little heartbreaking. It felt like for some of the L's they had to take, but finally something goes their way, a big result against top of the division. Now I'm curious to see how that affects not only Midnight dealing with their first L, but Reciprocity. With such a big win under their belt now, I want to see them just use that take it in their stride, get a ton of confidence from it, and start steamrolling through teams.
At the very least, even like if you're thinking about like roster changes, anything like that, you're like, okay, if we can take down Midnight, we can scrap those games we did not clutch. We know what we're capable of as a team, and instead of being in the bottom 3 or wherever they've fallen out, we should have been in the top 3 going toe-to-toe with the contenders. So that's just a confidence thing for the next weeks, for the interdivision play. A huge win for them.
Yeah, massive win for them. And you brought it up, game 2. The reason that Reciprocity was able to take it came down to 1 man, and that was Tommy. I believe Jess has a PlayStation instant reaction with Tommy.
Thanks, Ben. How does it feel to hand Midnight their first loss?
It feels pretty good, although I think Red took them to a close last map before, I believe, but it feels good to close it out against them. It was more like, that's how we can play. Our hard points were sloppy, but as soon as we get that control, if we win that, we eventually win the series.
And speaking of those hard points, that's a theme that I'm hearing over and over again. Shane even mentioned it. You tend to throw away a lead in a hard point. How do you plan to address that issue?
I wouldn't say that was an issue in that game there. It was more they're just a really good hard point team, and they were outplaying us on both maps. We were close on both of them to begin with, but they just showed their class after that. So there's nothing really to take from that one, apart from they were just a better hard point team there. But to work on the chokes we've been doing, we've just got to calm down in them situations and sort of just get someone to just say, like, right, everyone relax, let's do this, start working together, because it gets a bit frantic near the end.
All right, and that was a big series for you guys. You took your first control win, your first win on Arsenal. So what is going right for you guys right now?
Although we have been, as you say, messing up a lot of hard points, that was our first control win. And most series, if we take that, we'll still be in it. And any game 5 we can take, we feel confident on S&D. So we're just going to work on our control still, and then that will keep us in the series.
All right, great. Thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Going all the way to round 11. Congratulations to Reciprocity on their win, and Midnight gets their very first taste of defeat. Your desk is back. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Pac-Man, and Study. It happened.
Midnight bleeds.
They are actually human. It's mind-blowing, right? It took them all the way to go to 5-5 for them to lose a match.
They should have won.
They went to 5-5 twice.
Yeah.
And they were up 2-0 in the control. They should have won this series.
Wait, why should they have won? Yeah.
They
You said something before we were on broadcast. I want everybody to hear.
What? That I think this was like the luckiest series win that we've seen so far in the league.
I agree.
I just think this series win was just really lucky at a Reciprocity. Good job from them, of course, but wow, a lot went right for them to win that series.
Well, I mean, they were able to clutch it. Reciprocity was able to clutch up finally, and especially in that series, they needed a clutch factor there.
They did.
And Tommy, again, was a beast throughout the entire time. One person I want to talk about as well, Shawnee stepped up in that series. He hasn't been playing too hot throughout, the Pro League thus far, and he stepped up in that series in a big way. It's a huge win for confidence for Reciprocity going forward.
Absolutely. We do want to bring up our highlights one by one and work through them. First off, map 2, round 11.
This right here, this is such like a gutsy play out of Tommy. You have Dens pulling out the Tempest here. He's just going to be scouting the entire time at A. But Tommy is just going to gain all this information. Nobody's hitting A, so he's just going to push straight through their spawn. Fortunately, he gets like the greatest timing by hitting this corner right here, catching these 2 guys off guard. Kills Envoy. Look how close he is to his grab slam. He's going to be wrapping back. He's just playing his life. This is a beautiful play out of Tommy. He knows eventually they're going to have to push him out in order to get their map position back. And then somehow, some way, was able to destroy Brack right there in that 1v1. And then he developed the grab spike and then turned around and got that biggest 3-piece, 5-5. Tommy was the MVP for that map.
I will say solo flanking is probably not the best idea for a lot of teams, a lot of players. It doesn't typically work out. But I will say this about Midnight. A lot of the times on their offensive rounds, they go towards a bomb and they end up wrapping back towards that other bomb site. We've been seeing it time and time again out of them. It's like their go-to strategy on every single search and destroy, almost their just initial strat that they go for, just trying to get that information. And I think Tommy made that heads-up play with that flank, and he got lucky with them wrapping back. But if he knew that in the back of his head, that's an amazing.
There's no way he could have known that. There's no way he could have known that. Tommy had a great map. He ended up, what, 15-8?
Yeah, Pack, you were a little critical of this.
He may have known that.
No way. I don't like this play.
They do that so often.
Okay, but if they do that, if Midnight decides to wrap all the way back instead of cutting a shortcut, they decide to go like through the vent area instead of back through their base, he's just dead. And then we're sitting here saying, why did Tommy do that alone? As opposed to great play by Tommy. Instead, he gets a free kill because they don't wrap all the way back, and then obviously he develops that grab spam. Lamagod didn't have a chance in his fight with him. Brack should have waited for Lamagod too. After they knew Tommy was back in the base, had they waited and fought him together, it would have just been a 4-on-4, but they didn't. Tommy did a good job and won that and another individual, but they should have just waited and worked together. I don't really like Midnight's wrap back there, because if they're going to do it, they have to go all the way back and clear out their base. They didn't clear out their base, and no one checked it either.
Well, usually when they do those sort of split strats where they wrap back, they have one guy that waits. Yeah. And then they'll also leave a guy on the other side of the map as they wrap back and cover all their fronts. It's kind of the 5-5. They kind of just drop the ball there, and they didn't have anybody picking up any information. But on their gridlock is where they love to do that, where they send like one guy on each side. But yeah, right there. Could have been a terrible play out of Tommy, but I do like the heads-up play and getting that information and deciding to go. If he had a teammate, it would have been a great play. It would have been a great play, but it works out from talent.
All right, we're going to bring up our next highlight now, map 5, round 10.
This round right here, it was an unbelievable play out of Midnight. You know, they popped a crash here. They both have 200. Gets a hit marker right here. They all push out. But on the side of Reciprocity here, when they stacked inside of this balk right here and got 3-pieced by grab spike, I thought it was over. Because there's no reason why you should want to stack that thing, especially knowing you have to have the information going into this round that Jet Li has a grab slam. But fortunately, Wuskins was able to lay down and just basically destroy 4 different players.
I gotta watch that back. I do not understand how he got so many kills right here. How did this happen?
They didn't hop up. They just stood there and they tried to trade him. They should have either hopped up or, I think they all decided to kind of like push up a little bit towards the bomb site. Like, you gotta make a decision either.
Well, Jet Li did 3-piece them out of their base, so they might have been trying to get control, like take Reciprocity's side after Jet Li popped the 3-piece. Let's watch it back.
This all happens so fast.
Like, look, Tommy gains this information. Once that one guy's there, he sees another guy pick at the outer. Envoy and everybody's just flooding at him. He just plays his life correctly. And then everybody else that's in this area right here, in the top balcony area, is just like, why are you guys stacking it? It makes no sense. I guess they're lacking information that he had grab slam. But
okay, so Zed goes into the lobby with them, gets 3-pieced for some reason.
Yeah. But then Wuskins, I feel like the reason why Midnight did it, 4v2 situation, they all
flood that elbow right there trying to kill him.
I think that Wuskins just gunned somebody, for being honest.
They
could have just traded him. Like, whoever got killed first maybe didn't do the most damage, but whoever the second guy was just needs to trade that fight. Like, if they trade out that fight, Tommy's in the back with a sniper. He might have picked up a gun at that point. But you
can't really be too mad at that, because, to be honest, that's usually a free trade. If there's a guy on that heady right there and he kills your teammate, you can usually trade it right away. Now, would they have liked to jump up into the lobby and not challenge him at all? In retrospect, yeah, but in-game, most players will go for that trade. somebody had to have gotten gun. We aren't able to see it there.
Multiple people had to.
Yeah.
They all had crash. They have 200. You have 50 more health than a regular.
If they have crash, there's no way he guns like 600 worth of damage right away.
I'm actually he killed all 3.
Nevertheless, that was a very impressive play by Weskin, just laying down.
There's no way no one ever expects somebody to be laying down, especially in that position. There's a head glitch there.
All right, we do want to watch how everything ended, so we're going to pull up our final highlight from Map 5, Round 11.
Round 11.
Specialist Central here.
Specialist warfare right here for sure.
When Wuskins pulled out his war machine.
Thing is, Reciprocity did burn like the first couple, right?
Yeah.
There goes one of them. Tommy dies trying to flank by himself right there.
Wuskins already used the war machine, and he burned it. He basically only got 1 hit mark, and it was on a flak jacket guy.
That kill mid was huge because at that point, you got to worry about in front of you with the Tempest and mid, and you've previously gotten downed a few times, and I mean, at that point, it's like you're down in numbers, guys a Tempest out, and you got to get a bomb down. There's not really much you can do when the guy flies out and he's not missing like that.
It's crazy when you have that much utility that even if some of those things do get burned, that you still have the Tempest on deck in the back and the round's over. Like the reason taking that much utility into the final round is just so good.
Yeah.
The reason they lost that map was the grab slam round. They needed to win that round. They had to win that round. Otherwise, going into the next round, our team's going to have their stuff. And to be honest, it should have been a lot easier for Rec to just win that round. Tommy should have been able to pick up a kill with his grab slam, get shot, trying to get out of the lobby there, but got a little bit closer than they even wanted it.
It certainly seemed like there was a hefty bit of luck that went into this.
It was. That round 10, I feel like after they got that grab slam 3-piece, they didn't need to fight anymore. I think Chan said it in the broadcast. They were inside the lobby at that point. They could have just backed up through mid, gone back to you. The bomb is planted for you. You don't have to win fights.
I think the information that they had, though, is because, remember, Tommy was sniping that elbow. So they were just going to flood the guy out elbow because he has a sniper pistol.
But why? He can't do anything.
That being said, it is an easy trade, and a lot of teams will just go for it. But I think going forward, if they ever get in that situation again, they're going to jump.